Mario Kart World actually has a lot of cool little secrets all around its map that you might not have noticed at first. So today, I want to actually look at some really cool locations that you might have missed in Mario Kart World. You guys sent me a bunch as well, and some of them might be more obvious than others. They're just really cool spots that I wanted to point out, but let's dive into these really cool locations. But actually, first, before we dive in, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We are on our roll to 370,000 subscribers, so you can make that happen by simply leaving a like and subscribing. If you guys learned anything cool in this video at all, just feel free to subscribe. It's really quick, it's really easy. Did you know that Mario Kart World actually has a hidden Area 51 location on its map? If you come to this cross section in between the volcano and jungle biomes by the river, you can hug this left cliff and you'll notice something really strange. You'll find these weird metal gates with also torches lining the road. There'll be a bunch of warning signs, very creepy and eerie like, and then you can actually pull straight up to an area where there's a bunch of cows and Nabbit being sucked up by a UFO. You can actually take control of the UFO and fly it around once you get it, but it's a really creepy and cool area for sure. On the northern part of Great Question Block Ruins, you'll find a secret hideout of a bunch of piranha plants. Yeah, there's like 4 different types here: regular, ice, fire, and even a skeleton version. And there's a whole bunch of babies that are surrounded behind them that's also protecting Nabbit. This is another Nabbit location that's hidden away. And yeah, they're like firing tons of projectiles at you, almost protecting the babies and protecting Nabbit, which is pretty hilarious. But yeah, you can drive right up through them and even through the babies as well in order to get a little stack of coins. It's such a cool little hidden area, and you can take pictures even with your own piranha plant skin. Between Choco Mountain, Peach Stadium, and Moo Moo Meadows, you can actually find a small little toad town. Yeah, there's tons of little toad homes. They even have little things outside of each home, like planks of wood, maybe bags of flour, even paint cans. It's actually pretty cool, and you can drive around each house. It doesn't do really anything crazy, like there's a couple stack of coins, and there's really nothing else that they do, but I just thought it was a cool, neat little area beside the train station here. You can also find cornfields and different farms that are shaped like a mushroom as well, which I thought was a neat touch. You can even find a field of turnips. They're actually not seen anywhere else in the game, and you can just pretty much run them over and pop them out of the dirt. It's a strange thing to add considering the fact that there's no type of turnip track or anything like that, and they're not seen otherwise outside of this one little area in this Toad Town area, but once again, just a cool little find. Off to the northwest of Sky High Sunday, you'll actually find a random Typhoon that's out here all alone, just blowing waves. It's actually one of the only ones that's just sitting in water anywhere on this map, and you can actually just sit there and watch the wave physics. It almost makes me think that Nintendo put it here for development purposes to kind of work on waves and just left it here or something, because you can literally just sit here and look at the physics of the waves in this game, which is just a really cool thing though, because the waves are awesome. They actually have such realistic movements, and it's really cool just to see how they work. You can just sit there and ride them and just watch it the entire time. Staying in Sky High Sunday, you might have dropped to the bottom and seen this foggy ice cream area that's really hard to see during the day, but have you ever dropped down here at night? It's absolutely beautiful. Everything glows, from the trees to the popsicles and even the icicles themselves. It's literally like a winter wonderland, or even a candy land that's glowing down here. What it reminds me of is the Satoral Marsh from Xenoblade 1, where during the day it's just a foggy marsh. That's it, foggy swamp. But then at night it turns into an angelic forest where all the trees light up. It's actually extremely beautiful, and I just love driving down here, and especially when it's playing Yoshi's Island intro. It's just such a sad and somber but sweet and peaceful area. I love it. In Skyview Peak, there's a couple of really cool areas. The first one, when you're going up around this giant turn that looks just like the one from Ice Outpost, you can actually charge a jump and jump completely over it in order to drop down here onto this top section of the inside of the observatory. Enter the pipe on the far side of the room, and it will warp you to the very top of the observatory, the highest point of this peak. which is super beautiful. Now, this is an area that has a question mark panel, so it's not completely hidden or unknown, but still, it's really, really cool. And it is a very hard secret panel to find. But when you get up here, there's a little indoor area where you can see the little Lumas flying around. And it reminds me of like the inside of the terrace from Mario Galaxy before you would actually, you know, fling to a galaxy to start that level in that mission. It's really, really cool. And of course, you can actually jump off and ramp all the way off a couple of ramps in order to just fly through the night sky, which is also a beautiful thing to do with the northern lights shining as well. The inside of Skyview Peak is extremely cool as well. Of course, this is where we race. I just wanted to show off the murals on the top of the ceiling as well. They're constellations shaped like Mario items and enemies on the ceiling, and you can drop down to the lower floor, which is a lower library, and you can actually see toads and other NPCs walking around, laying on benches, and even just hanging out at the library. It's a really pretty area that is off limits when you're actually racing, but I just wanted to point it out because I thought it was really cool. Not to mention, there's a giant poster of Rosalina's actual Comet Observatory from Super Mario Galaxy, which is a really neat callback. Just northeast of Peach Stadium, you'll find a bunch of farmland, and in the center of one of them, you'll find a random coin coffer. Yeah, the actual enemy this time, not the NPC racer, as he's actually able to run around dropping coins, and once you hit him, he'll drop a boatload of coins. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever seen him anywhere else on this map. He probably has other locations as well, but this is one surefire way in order to find him in this location with all the fields outside of Peach Stadium. Did you know Crown City has an actual working parking garage? Yes, you probably played through the P-Switch mission here where you had to race from the top to the bottom, but did you ever notice how the NPCs react and interact within this parking garage? Yes, if they park on the bottom floor, they can actually get out of the car and just straight up walk out of the garage, and then walk back in, get into their car, and leave. You'll find lots of cars pulling in and pulling out, but what's interesting is if they're parking anywhere besides the first main floor, such as the second, third, or even roof, you'll notice that they'll park their cars and just kind of sit there. Yep, they'll sit there for a while and then back up and then just leave. I don't know, maybe they just needed a break or something, but it's actually hilarious to see, and it's actually really cool that it has a inner working world where these toads are actually driving in this thing, and it's not just completely empty. In the Great Question Block ruins, you'll find the inside of the Great Question Block actually has a really cool secret. There's a bunch of ramps that you can actually trick off of. It's kind of tricky to do on your first try, but once you get the hang of it and trick off all the walls, eventually landing on the final grind rail off the tree root, you can jump to the top of the Great Question Block. And up here is a massive pile of coins, and also a giant ramp that you can jump off of on the corner as well. And did you know, if you jump off this ramp, you can actually do the world record amount of tricks before hitting the ground, because this is the highest point of the entire map. Crown City has a giant golden trophy with a giant golden crown on top of it, but did you know you can actually go to the base of it where it's sitting on the bank? Because if you do some tricks off of some buildings or simply just jump off the normal track with the speed boost off this ramp here, you'll actually be able to land on the base of this roof and find a giant hidden pile of golden coins. On the western side of Sky High Sunday, on this road by the ice cliff, you can find a couple of penguins walking around. But if you want to find a giant group of penguins, all you have to do is drop off the ledge here. If you jump off the ledge and drop all the way down, you'll find a massive grouping of around 5 penguins walking around, which you can interact with. They'll give you damage for some reason, but you can also just take pictures with them and hang out. Just directly south of the giant bridge that crosses the ocean, you can find tons of crazy marine life out here, but it's completely random what you can find in this spot. You can find a cheap chomp just swimming around, causing giant waves that you can trick off of and play around with, or even run over with a speedboat. You can even find some Super Koopas from Super Mario Bros. World that fly around with their capes and even drop cape feathers all over the ground for you to pick up and just jump with. I mean, there's no real reason, but hey, it's a cool little thing they can do. But there's a rare occasion you can get some really cool rare creatures in the ocean. For instance, these giant orange manta rays that pop out of the water. They're used in a couple of sections on the intermission tracks, but it's really cool to see them here. But perhaps the rarest find is a giant whale. Now, you actually find one of these in the intermissions that actually jumps up and causes a giant giant wave, but every blue moon you can find one of these just swimming around in the ocean, and they even have a blowhole where they can squirt water and bounce you high into the sky. You can ride them, bounce into them, play around with them, or even take some pictures. It's actually really cool, and it took me a while in order to find this. Your best solution is just restarting the game over and over again and spawning in this area and searching for him, and if he's not there, just keep restarting the game. Eventually, after 5 or 6 times, I was able to find him. And those are some crazy spots and locations on Mario Kart World's map that you might have missed. Let me know in the comments down below if you missed any of these, or if you have any more new locations. You can add them to the Mario Kart World Google Doc that I linked down below. Simply put your name first, because once again, make sure you add your name. A lot of people still are not doing that, so you can't get credit if you don't add your name. Add your name followed up by the location and a good description as to where to find it or how to get there. It can be a location with tons of coins, maybe a small Easter egg, or just a cool spot that you really love that you feel like a lot of people are underappreciative of. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one, and have a blessed day, guys. See ya.